Yesterday, London died. London was our almost 10-year-old dog who contracted anemia. We brought her in for a routine physical, and when the vet discovered she had a cracked tooth, they did standard blood work to see if she could be put under anesthesia. The test revealed her red blood cells were below normal, so we could not proceed with any dental procedures at this time. The vet was cautiously optimistic that it might heal itself, but later the next week, London collapsed as she was walking up some stairs. I brought her back to the vet, and the new test showed her red blood cells had dropped half again as much from the already low reading from the previous week. You see, her bones had stopped producing red blood cells. The x-ray revealed that all her organs were normal. There was nothing that would allow us to blame cancer for this turn in her health. The vet was not now so optimistic. We could try a drug regimen, and there were other things offered, blood transfusions, a specialist which may or may not determine the cause, but there were no guarantees. Then, I heard it. London has decided to go home. Wasn't said with any great fanfare, but it was there, in my knowing. Well, fuck. When your connection to source speaks, it just is. There isn't a question. This was that. London has decided to go home. Fuck. Of course, London had every right to do what she wanted to do. It doesn't matter that she was loved beyond all love. It doesn't matter that she got a brew, which is an old cow bowl and stuffed with dog food and frozen, every single night before she had dinner while we watched TV. It didn't matter that spring was here and the rabbits she loved to chase were hopping around. She wanted to go home. And she is a sovereign soul. She gets to decide her life. But that doesn't mean I'm going to not try to stop the outcome, says the ego. We tried the drugs. We gave her a special diet of high iron foods. I performed Reiki on her almost every day. But it was clear after the next week's blood test, just 3 weeks from her physical, that she was done. The red blood cell count had dropped to the bottom of the chart. So, decisions had to be made. If you've ever had to make those choices, you know. Of course, when we arrive at the vet that morning, she is the most alert and barky she's been all week. Of course, every doubt in my mind is racing. Is this the right time? Should we wait? If we wait, are we causing her to suffer more? Is the diet finally working? Should we get the blood test again? All the thoughts. But, London has decided to go home. We sit with her on the floor as the vet administers the sedative, and my most precious puppy goes to sleep. Hard, snoring sleep. And the vet asks if we're ready. My heart screams, no! But my mind knows. It's time. And I nod. And my heart shatters. My husband's heart shatters, which breaks mine even more. And we hold our baby, and she reemerges into that place where we're all going back to. I ugly cry, soul deep sobs that I can't stop, that I want them to stop. It's the last offering I have to give to my most beautiful dog. My husband hears her come back and say, "It's okay, Daddy. It's the right thing to do." I don't get that. I just don't know. Sitting with this most recent loss, I try to feel through the cannonball hole in my chest. I run the gauntlet of doubt. What are we doing here on earth in this life, playing God? Does anything I do really matter? Did the Reiki work? Did the diet even help? I can't feel her. I didn't hear her come back. Am I even able to do this psychic thing I say I can? No, I know this is all part of the 7 stages of grief. Shock, denial, pain and guilt, anger and bargaining, depression, the upward turn, reconstruction and working through acceptance and hope. I get home and I drop London's collar and leash on the floor so our other dog, Paris, can smell it and maybe get the sense that London isn't coming home. She promptly throws up on the carpet. She knows. And I feel myself distancing from her. I know she needs support and stability as well, but part of me is mad. You're not London. And I feel guilty for those feelings, but they are feelings I'm having. Fuck. I look to the couch where a mere 2 hours ago London lay looking out at the backyard. The whole of my heart is palpable. I can feel its sides round like someone just reached in my chest and ripped out my heart. There's the obligatory post on social media to alert friends of our loss, and the condolences roll in, and someone posts the Rainbow Bridge poem, and I get angry. Because it's not like that. That isn't what happens. It's a Pollyanna statement that doesn't match the profound loss I'm feeling, and I weep again. But society doesn't really give us time to mourn our pets, so it's back to work. People ask, and I throw up a wall as to not dissolve into a blubbering pile of goo in the workplace. I come home that first night, and I'm not greeted at the door. I have a feeling about that. I get dinner for Paris and put down only one dog dish. I have a feeling about that. I cry a few more times. Once in a while I really cry, but most often just tears. And the week ends. I can talk about it a little bit more. The hole is there, but the edges aren't quite so raw. I can cuddle with Paris and not feel so much resentment. After all, I do love her too. All of it hits me like a ton of bricks, my first day off from work since her transition. And I'm a moody mess, exhausted from it all. I take a nap. I keep hoping she will come to me and tell me it's okay. I'm left sitting with thoughts about this thing we call death. And as many are at times of this kind of transition, I know London is okay. I know she's still around, but this knowledge isn't comforting. At least not right now. I've had enough readings with mediums to know that our soul doesn't cease to exist. I also know that you can't pet a ghost. I sit with this knowing and this grief, trying to make sense of them both. I think it's a holy time. A sacred time. Had I not allowed London into my heart, I wouldn't have this gaping hole in my chest right now. And there's the rub. The very act of loving sets us up for hurt. But not loving really isn't an option, because it's what we are and what we're built to do. And here's the kicker. It's not really a loss after all. Energy doesn't cease to exist. It just changes form. And we know this from physics. And we are energy from the same source. Ergo, death is not loss, but a transition of energy back to source, back to the ocean, if you will, of which we are just merely a drop. But you can't pet a ghost. And I would rather have my London here in my lap giving me kisses than wait to reemerge to the ocean from energy that connects with that part of myself again. Until that time, I'll honor her with my whole heart and the hole in my heart. Go off and do big things, my most beautiful dog. I love you.